Hello and welcome. I'm Sharon Martin from Inner Sanctum Studios, and I'm a messenger for Gaia. So I bring through messages to you, for you, about the energies that we are experiencing and how this may be affecting you in your life and also the people around you and the world. So welcome to this video from the 20th of February 2024. We're dealing with a lot of the numerology of the twos this month, and especially now that we're in the week of the 20s. Hello, Amanda. Hello, welcome. So anyone else who's here, pop your name in the chat and say hi. You may be like me, feeling absolutely exhausted as we're going through big transitions in our cellular self. As we're changing over to greater crystalline structure, and it's very, very tiring. It's affecting us in lots of ways. But right now, as you are becoming more heightened in your frequency, in your energy, and becoming more sensitive, many of you will be having that experience of becoming more sensitive to others, being challenged by being around others. That might be your experience. And I want to say, just give yourself permission to be okay with that, to be okay with doing things in a way where you're alone in your solo experience. It's not a forever thing, but if you are querying, is it okay for me to do that, I want to say to you, give yourself permission. There will be a lot of that at the moment because there's super sensitivity going on as we're in transition, and we are really in transition from the lower to the higher, from the sort of three-dimensional matrix world across the bridge, if you like, of the fourth dimension and into the fifth. So there's this idea that came to me a couple of days ago, which is challenging to explain, and the best way that I can do that is to talk about, it's like this exchange between the internal and the external. So it's as though we are sending parts of ourselves off into the multiverse and then receiving new parts back. It's like we're streaming a couple of rivers, if you like. Our emotional body is definitely in huge flow and flux. So you could see it as your emotional body streaming up and down and in and out, as though it's going out into universal spheres and then coming back in, sort of rearranged, reorganized, up-leveled, upgraded. Hi Lynn, hi Dawn, welcome. So yeah, a lot of this energetic exchange going on, but it's your own energy exchange. You're just exchanging the lower for the higher. You're going to further and deeper purification. It's very challenging. It creates a wobble. It makes us wonder where we've been in the day. It can be having an impact on your experience of time or timelessness, of the dualities of the limits and the limitless, all of those kinds of dual adjectives. Yeah, and I want to say that the P words come. So it is powerful, it is potent, and how you deal with it is by being present, by being present in each now moment. So this light, this part of the embodiment of the higher self and the self, is the experience. It's an ongoing experience. It is as we are purifying, creating more space, expanding the inner by clearing, cleansing, and purifying, that it creates more expansion space to then allow in the higher, your old gifts, your psychic wisdom, your cellular knowing, this activation in many, many ways of what you know is being accelerated by the speed of the spin, but also because of the up leveling of the levels of purification and access. access to just these other parts of you, which you may not have been qualified yourself. It's just you qualified to receive because your vibration wasn't high enough. And so we're spinning through these up-leveling systems, if you like, the fractals of self coming in, or we can see it in lots of different ways. But there's this feeling that came in on the 18th of this light that was flowing in as being more white and more purified. And the feeling of it was having a significantly different impact as the impact is more deeply penetrating this light, the codes, the signatures coming in, and yet perceived as softer, as more swirling in its movement in the body, so not so piercing, and yet coming deeper. And it's because we've made this transition, this shift to being softer, to being more open, to being less rigid. All of the changes within self is allowing this opening to receive the higher and the softer, the deeper, the clearer, and especially through the emotional body, the cellular memory. Hello, Carla. Oh, you're in muggy Raglan. Not so muggy here today. But today and yesterday was super muggy, and both yesterday and today I've seen double the most incredible rainbow, like a total rainbow and total saturation of color. So for many, on the 18th, I want to tell you that you were receiving your angelic codes, pure and high frequency, and these coming into your heart. So a lot of you will have been feeling those energies coming in to your chest area, to the lower heart, to the higher heart. And today we're really, and yesterday as well, I think, one day just rolls into the next for me. But there's this exquisiteness in the higher heart as well. So receive these with your hand on your heart is the instruction. And repeat these words to self, either silently or out loud. Love and peace. Love and peace. So bring yourself to that place within your heart space. So yeah, I went away and did some other work. My life here. And I've been having to fit things in between sort of lots of people being in and around at the moment. And I was feeling on that day, and interesting, yeah, that's right, I wrote at 13:33, that's when I felt it. I was feeling really emotional and very teary, and yet with this delicious expansion in my heart and higher heart. The frequency match is turning up, I want to say. You will be having this experience where you are beginning to meet or already have met people. So it might be female, it might be male, it might be friends, it might be work colleagues, it might be family members, it might be lovers and partners. But there are frequency matches coming in for us to begin to connect into our monad groups or other groups, and the number 12 is what shows up. So you might be beginning to recognize, you'll have a soul recognition, a vibratory recognition, a deep knowing that you already know this person. And what comes with that is that connection will help others. So this will assist those, firstly you, so it's a kind of a two-way. I have to tell you that right now, more and more, I'm being challenged by how to describe and define things, because it's like we're really in new constructs, but it's this idea. Frequency matches turning up, and this will assist those in higher vibrations to maintain their frequency. So that's the first thing. So as more of us are in these higher frequencies, we are holding space for one another to maintain. It's not so challenging to maintain the frequency. And then this has a collective influence on raising the vibration of the next group, and so on and so forth. So as it's like, so you hold your higher frequency, and then that holds space with other people around you who are in that frequency, and then you are assisting one another to be able to maintain that more easily, because there's less kind of drawing on your frequency. That would be another way to explain it. And then these, you connecting in with your brothers and sisters who align with you, who come from your group, your monad, your collective, your family, however you want to define that, can be defined in many terms. So then collectively you're holding that frequency, and that makes it easier. So then collectively those groups are connected, and then that collective assists the next group to come into that frequency. This is how we are assisting ascension to happen more quickly. It's happening more quickly in a number of ways. One is the cellular spin speed up. The other is this connecting through the frequency as more of the dross is cleared out. And the other is this idea that we can't go back now. That's what Gaia has said. We can only go up. We can only go up in our light quotient. We can only go up in our frequency. So this is where we're at this collective influence on raising the vibrational frequency of the next group, that notion. And then I saw this gong, I don't know, if you think of a brass disc standing on a frame and someone hitting it, and I got that was a message. I heard the message with that gong. So I saw the gong, I heard the resonance of it, and I got, it's close for the money gong to ring, and that there is, I am feeling so nervous in here about this. It's really interesting. A change of time and a change of season regarding money in our world. So we are very close to that. I am going to do a meditation video, and I decided that I would take it out here and do that later. So I've got quite a few videos sort of lined up that I need to organise to be here to do, but I'm going to do that. So that came through, I don't know, yesterday, the day before. So I'll do that shortly. And then this crystallining experience is very exhausting for many, as the speed of spin in the cells is a massive acceleration on what we are each used to. There's also like the monad shapes showing up, and for me it shows up as a kind of a pretzel shape. So it's got curves and lines. I don't even know why I'm saying that. I'm not familiar with this at all, but that's the languaging that I got. It's a pretzel shape, and it shows up like a cracker, if you like, a pretzel that's been extruded through an icing nozzle or shape. And I can sort of see the shape, but I can't really draw it yet, but it's made up of curves and intersecting lines and shapes, and it's rectangular, and it's representing the monad. And I know that Morgan did a couple of really good examples of the same thing a couple of days ago. So, you know, that it's very interesting, isn't it, how more and more of us are getting information, the same sort of languaging. We have different ways of interpreting it, but it's really fascinating to me that that's becoming more and more aligned. Yeah, but we're definitely this frequency match turning up in the gathering in groups or monads, 12 being likely the number being energetically pulled together, and then this collective influence. Yeah, so beginning to have this group influence on the next group. This, you know, it's just another way of thinking about the one layer of the tissue absorbing a colour that then quickly moves through the absorption of the rest. So this is what we're doing, and it's fast because the speed of the molecule is fast. We are more cleared, more cleaned, more uplifted, and so we are more easily able to go through the change, if you like. So you will be feeling drawn or noticing that you are connecting with more like-minded souls, frequencies, and vibrations. But I think I already said that, but it's important. It's important just to recognize, just be observant of self. On a physical level, you may be feeling up and down with all of the symptoms mentioned of late, and you will likely, some of you will have seen the post. Jay, I meant to look it up, but maybe someone else remembers. But Jason Estes, he made some mention of the RAS. Now, the RAS is the reticular activating system. So he was speaking about these vibrations affecting that, and it was in reference to accessing. So what I can tell you is that a very simple way of describing the reticular activating system is that it behaves as a set of sliding doors, and it's where it's like when we drop from being in a beta brainwave pattern into an alpha brainwave pattern, and that can open up the doors. But also could be seen as a mechanism for where we store material. It's the easiest way for me to explain it to you is how I used to explain it to my students, that when they were trying to remember information, I used to say to my students, when you're in an exam and you are in an unfamiliar room, what you do is you visualize. When you want to access this information that we're talking about here in this class, you visualize that you're back here, you're sitting in the seat that you're sitting in, and that creates the conditions that enables you to access the information. That is how you use your reticular activating system. So anytime that you are wanting to access a greater feeling of well-being or peace, you put yourself in the situation of feeling into that, or connecting with people who are coming into your life. So maybe your beloved, then you put yourself into that. You can feel the softness of it, right? It's a softer energy. It's maybe opening into the heart, but it's accessing the sliding door of the reticular activating system, the RAS, which sits across the frontal lobe in my knowing. And so it's like opening up the sliding doors to access that, to access the feeling, to access the neural pathways that go with the feeling, that go with the sensory experience. It's kind of putting it into a bowl of the same conditions. I guess that's a decent way of explaining it. Okay, so yes, we are in pretty weird days. Hello, Carla. And I've said hello to Carla, sorry. Alive Thrive. Hi, Louise. Cold and rainy for all weekend in Florida. Today we saw the glorious sun. The weather is really all over the show, isn't it? Hello, Sandy. Hello, sweet CC. Yeah, weird days. I'll just get rid of that off my screen. Hello, Charlotte. Yeah, so there's a lot to be excited about, even though it might be a little bit unknown. We might not see exactly where we are headed or what we are going to be experiencing, but go with the feelings of it. Use the emotional body for that. We're in really big, like flowing like a river. I'll get to that somewhere. I've written about that. Yeah, so all of the stuff that relates to the reticular activating system, that is also having this impact on the skull. So we are having psychic upgrades. We are accessing, information from the past. You could kind of see that you've got these overlays coming in from the past, even though we know it's all concurrent. But we can hold this in our simple minds. We can calculate through the lineal more easily. So imagine that your past life experiences, that's your gifts, your talents, your knowledge, your wisdom from those are coming in through the back of your heart. So you might have those feelings, and then the higher dimensional experiences coming in through the crown with these lights, these very, I want to say, highly conditioned frequencies, and these higher knowings from other dimensional experiences of you as you in this multi-dimensional self that is you. So it's like we are dropping in from the higher and coming in from behind. We're becoming this bigger version of self. All of us beginning to be merging into self, so that we have access to a lot more. So, where are we up to here? Yeah, so you might be feeling sore eyes, ringing ears, a sore throat, a stretch in the heart and in the higher heart across the chest. You also might be feeling a lot of energetics in the lymphatics, under the jaw, in the armpits, because we're just in this detoxifying, we're in this purification, and it's coming from from those lymphatic systems as well. You might be feeling dizzy. You might be feeling teary. Me, I have been. Emotional. You might be feeling unbalanced. You might be feeling alone. There's this big time now for trust in yourself. Like, really go deep with yourself and honor who you are, why you're here, what you have done so far, the spaces and places and lessons that you have held, what you have carried for your families, for your lineages. We're just in this phase, really, where we are in this more of the final releasing. Yeah, so wobbly, emotional, unsteady, a lot of left to right. I can tell you that the Divine Masculine are in a big experience of that at the moment, but I'll speak more about that in a separate video. Oh, and while I'm here, I want to tell you that I have put all of my canvas prints on sale, so you can go to SharonMartin.com and have a look at the shop. You can buy your own print of Gaia or other artwork that's available in there. So go and have a look. We are in a lot of emotional and mental loops and cycles and challenges and programming or undoing of the programming. So this is coming through for us to release, so that we can shift on to the next level as well. And it can be having quite a strong effect on us. So we might be doing this as part of our divine counterpart connection and the past there. We might be doing it as part of our familial lines. We might be doing this as part of the country we're in, the culture we're attached to. We, in many ways, a lot of divine counterparts are here to be, smashing open the old paradigms, especially to do with relationship. And so there's a lot of this undoing that might be going on. So it's going on in the ethers, but really we're grounding it into the physical. It's why it is so challenging in the physical, because we're doing this now in our physical bodies. So closing off, and it might be that you feel drawn to be taking action in the physical because of that. So don't ignore that. There's also there's the cycles from all of the past kind of historical ancestral experiences as well. Like they might be coming up. So a lot of you might be having that come up in your dreams, in your visions, and so just take note of them, just process it, just be in internal dialogue with yourself. What is this? What is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to learn? Have I learned it? That kind of thing. Yeah, so you can be asking yourself about the patterns and programs that drive your behavior in the physical. That's a good sort of clue as to what you might be needing to look at. And then strong, so we are up to today. Yeah, I think in light of what I've already said, I will read this here. Old memories and situations continue to show up, so you can process and release. A lot of matters of the heart arriving for review. Be gentle with yourself. Each of these experiences, good, bad, ugly, traumatizing, and elevating, are created and designed by you, for you. Remember that. The bigger version of you created everything that you're experiencing here, even now for this time. Even in light of the fact that we have been in infiltration, in experimentation, in intervention, and slowing down of divine counterparts coming together. This is designed by you, for you, to bring about growth, to provoke release, and to bring opportunity for healing and emotional closure. And I don't know about you, but man, I can feel that in my body. Love yourself well. That came through. Be forgiving and honoring of you and all of your past experiences. You are the sum total of all of this and more, from the experiences your soul has had over time. So many of us have been here many times. We've had experiences and lifetimes here and in other places. And that is, if you like, the substance with which we have arrived in order to get through this time, in order to break the old patterns, in order to create the new, in order to extract humanity from the old way of being and into the new paradigm. Let me see what else is here. Amanda just found a like-minded dog groomer who she went to this morning and joining Zoom groups like your one. Beautiful. Sweet CC, yes, we are in a void space of complete surrender. Man, it's intense to be nowhere. It kind of is, isn't it? It's challenging. We're not used to it. We really are in the void, even though we're not falling. That's what I want to say. We're suspended in the void. It really is being in the nothingness of the nothingness. Crying for no reason, locked jaw, ringing ears, but otherwise great. Fantastic. So the jaw, remember the jaw often holds the emotions that relate to experiences that are held there, to do with emotions around anger and resentment. So maybe just tune into that a little bit, Carla. Also, milking your jaw, you know, that kind of thing as well can be handy. 12 years ago, Sweet CC is saying, looping through again like a redo timeline. It's eerie, same people. Yeah. So, oh yeah, right, the 12. There's the 12, right? The 12 is showing up in a lot of different ways. There are people, yes, talking about, 12 years ago, there are people talking about what happened in the year 2012, which is 12 years ago. There's a lot showing up around the number 12. There's a lot showing up around that relating to other connections. Hi, Carolyn. Hi. Yeah, memories coming up that haven't been on my mind in a long time. And I want to say it's for the last hurrah. It's just chicken. What else? There might be something else there. It might. I want to say it feels to me like a lot of it's going to be to do with groups that you've been a part of, like your family. You know, many of us came here to show the way, to pave the way for our families. And so a lot of that old stuff coming up around that, I want to say. Where am I up to here? Yes, okay. Strong, swirling, churning, cleansing and clearing of the emotional body, of the feminine self. That's what we're in today, of the feminine self, whether you are in a male or a female body. Force all to arise. So, yeah, that's what came through today. To be seen and cleared, to be purified and reconstituted. A bit of family lineage patternings may be showing up for you to illuminate, to clear, to purify the old and create and embody the new and the higher. If you think about you as the leader of your group, that can be the leader of many groups, but as the leader, so whatever you do, assist those that are following you who are a part of your group. So this is you clearing, illuminating, purifying, creating and embodying the, so doing that with the old and creating and embodying the new and the higher. Keep this in flow and in check. Do not here I am about to receive the advice that came through. Do not allow it to overwhelm. If the river of emotions is too much, turn it down to a stream of emotions. Remember when in deep water, become a diver. I remember saying that to a principal. I remember saying that to a principal I worked for a while. I remember being in his office and we were talking about things that were going on in the student body, and I don't remember the details of it. It's not that I'm holding out on you. It was private and personal to that situation anyway, but I can't remember it. I just remember saying to him, there's this beautiful saying that I go to when there's a lot happening, is when in deep water, become a diver. Yeah, so the rest of that is about the twins. So I will do that later on today or tomorrow. Probably, yeah, maybe tomorrow. So let's see here. Review memories coming up that haven't been on my mind in a lot. I love it how when I channel stuff and I come in here, you guys are having the experience of that. Yeah, the other thing I want to say is that how do I say this? That what is going on underground is being shown. So that might be showing up in a lot of different ways. It's certainly showing up in the, what I would call, and I don't mean this judgmentally, but I would call this a fourth dimensional explosion of information that is bringing clarity of truth of our recent history, and that what has been going on in the underground is coming up, and that's both figuratively and literally, for the awakening group to see, because this level, this type of information is a big awakener for many. The way in which we've been lied to, the way in which we've been manipulated, the way in which we've had physical intrusion through the whole sort of vaccination program, the long game of that as well is starting to be spoken of. So you might find that there are more people around you who are reaching out to get some clarity, for you to hold some space for them to speak their what's coming up for them in their hearts, their concerns, their worries. And just remember to hold space for them, just hold them in loving space and allow them to speak. Cryon mentioned 12-year cycles. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Tanny. Yeah, so that we are, more and more, there's more and more people awakening. There's more and more movement on the back of the wave. We are more and more coming closer to the tipping point. We are more and more coming closer to the revelation, the love revelation, the evolution that comes with that, and what you hold in your hearts is all a part of that. So I will say thank you to you. Thank you for being here, for joining me here, and for the love that you hold, and we will speak again soon. Much love.